Welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I am out here again today with my Colt Government 380. This time around I put in the 13-pound recoil spring and the 13-pound firing pin spring. So I'm going to see if it works better this time around. I'm going to start off, I have 2 magazines of Winchester White Box, flat nose, jacketed. I'm going to see if it functions a little bit better with those today. And then I also brought some Pmc Bronze 380, some Winchester Service Grade 380, 95 grain, and some Blazer Brass 380. So starting off with the Winchester White Box, let's see if it functions a little bit better than last time. All right, switching over next to the Pmc Bronze, which is a round nose, 95 grain projectile. I'm betting these are going to work better than the Fiocchis did because the casing on these is a little bit thinner. So I think what might have been happening with the Fiocchis was the casing was actually hanging up as it went into the chamber. It was getting stuck on something. So these have a thinner casing. They look like they're going to be a little bit more smooth going into the gun. So I'm going to put 2 magazines of those through it, and then I'll switch to something else. So here we go with the Pmc Bronze ammo. Maybe, again, because I put the heavier springs in the gun, these may not have quite enough velocity to kick that slide all the way back. So I'm going to do 2 more magazines of the Pmc Bronze and see if I have any more issues with it. I'll probably end up running through this whole box, but I'm not going to sit here and reload and shoot the whole box while I'm videotaping. So I'll try to keep these little segments pretty short. But I am just trying to see if this little 380 Government 380 Colt works better with different brands of ammo. I ended up selling all that Fiocchi to a buddy of mine. He was shooting it in a P238 and he was having the same issues I was, so it's probably the ammo, not necessarily my gun. But here we go with some more Pmc Bronze. So the last round in that magazine, I did have the same issue where it didn't fully go into the chamber. So apparently this gun just doesn't like round nose that much. I wouldn't rely on, I wouldn't carry round nose anyway. I carry either a flat nose or a hollow point, and hollow points work great. The flat nose seemed to work okay too, but for whatever reason, this gun does not like round nose ammo. So, I guess that's a good thing because I have more of the Winchester White Box and this Winchester Service stuff, service grade, whatever they call it, which is basically, this is the service grade. It looks exactly like Winchester White Box. They just label it something else. I think it's still 95 grain plated flat nose, so probably exactly the same stuff as the regular Winchester White Box. About the same price, not really a big issue with that. So I'm going to put 2 magazines of the Winchester Service Grade plated flat nose through it, and let's see how that goes. I'm betting it'll go just fine because I think it's exactly the same as the Winchester White Box. Well, that was not at all what I was expecting. The service grade, it may be loaded a little bit lighter than the Winchester white box because I had 2 or 3 issues in those 2 magazines where I had 2 stovepipes, and one time a round fired, the slide went back, but it didn't pull it all the way out of the chamber. So I had kind of a double feed, but there was an empty casing in the chamber. I'm gonna put 2 more magazines of this stuff through it and see if it still runs like that. I honestly think that this stuff being a little bit lighter loading is what it seems anyway, that it's not quite enough to fully cycle the action with that 13-pound spring, so I may need to drop back down to the 12-pound spring. It seemed to work fine with everything, again, except the round nose Fiocchi that I had before. Well, last but not least, I'm going to switch over to some Blazer 95 grain plated round nose. This is actually some pretty old ammo. I bought it off a buddy of mine. It's probably at least 4 or 5 years old. He gave me like half a box when I bought a bunch of stuff off him. So let's see if this stuff functions. If it does, I know I can get this stuff right now. I know CCI Blazer is good ammo, but let's see if it functions in this Colt. Well, it appears just like the other round nose ammo, it just doesn't like round nose. So the stuff that I know I've gotten 100% reliability out of it, I have a bunch of SIG V-Crown, I think hollow point, and I have some actual Fiocchi jacketed hollow point. Any of the hollow points that have a really steep angle on the tip of them work flawlessly in this. Maybe they're loaded at a higher velocity. Maybe that's really what the issue is, and this stuff just doesn't work good because it's a lower velocity. But, I mean, a little bit disappointing here. The Pmc Bronze should run fine. The CCI Blazer should run fine, but it's not perfect. I can tell you it's a really, really good thing that I don't have to rely on Pmc Bronze or Blazer for self-defense in this particular pistol. And again, until I get 100% reliability out of this pistol with some brand of ammo, I can't carry this in a good conscience because I'm not sure that I'll be able to protect myself with it. If I pull it out and have a malfunction the first or second or third round out of a 7-round magazine, that's not a good track record at all. So some guns are just picky. It's the way it is. And this is why you have to come out to the range and practice and shoot to find out what your gun likes. If this one only likes high quality self-defense hollow point, that's all it's going to get in the future. But for now, I do want to test it out with all brands of cheaper ammo. And another thing, because this is a new spring kit inside this gun, it is possible that that spring needs a bunch of cycles to be able to relax to where it functions fine. Again, I don't like guns that need break-in time. I want them to just work out of the box, but this is an aftermarket Wolff spring kit, so maybe that has something to do with it too. I don't know. All right, I got 2 more magazines for this thing that I'm gonna put through it, and that's gonna end out the video. This time around, I alternated staggering Blazer and PMC Bronze in these magazines, and I'll probably have some issues with it, but I have a little bit of each left, and I just kind of want to shoot through it. I mean, again, this is a perfect example of why you need to try out your new guns. You can't just buy a gun, load it with a magazine, and expect it to work. You need to try it out to make sure that it functions in whatever ammo you want to carry with it, and make sure it functions with range ammo in case that you can't find any good high-quality self-defense ammo. So this one, it's a little bit disappointing so far. I don't like the fact that I have to feed it premium ammo, but it is what it is. And worst case, if I had to sell this, I know I could make $100, $150 off of this gun because it is a Colt, and I have all the Wolff spring kits with it, and I have like 5 magazines for it now. So I know I could make my money back on it, but I don't want to sell it because this is only one of 2 Colts that I have. The other one is my Colt Detective Special, and it's a high-quality firearm. It's stainless steel. It's well-made. I really like it, and I like the fact that it is a Colt. I can shoot it well. It points and shoots just like a 1911, so I don't want to get rid of it. But I also don't like guns that aren't reliable. So let's put these last couple magazines through it, and then I'll finish the video out. Well, this is going to do it for this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. Thanks for coming out to the range with me today and hanging out while I fumble around with my Colt. I really appreciate all that you guys do when you watch my channel. I thank you for coming along and spending time with me, for liking, subscribing for those of you that are. This is going to do it for this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews with the Colt Mark IV Government 380 ammo testing out here at the range again. And I want to remind you all, when somebody asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, you remind them that freedom is the greater good.